So if there's one thing you want someone to take away from the story, what is it?
It is never too late to get out there.
It's never too late. Yes! Yes! This is why we're here. I'm so thrilled that you're here. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Badassery. This is a podcast meant to bring you inspirational stories that make you want to be just a little more badass every single day. It doesn't always have to be those huge badass moments in life. It can just be that 1%. And so I am bringing in someone who I admire and I think is such a badass. I have goosebumps just thinking about why I think she's a badass. I'm bringing in Stacey, that you know as Hot Flashes and Boarding Passes. And I think she's a badass because this woman has given 2 middle fingers up to what society expects out of her and has truly created the life that she wants today. So I'm super excited to bring her in. Let's dive in. So if there's one thing you want someone to take away from the story, what is it?
It is never too late to get out there.
It's never too late. Yes! Yes! This is why we're here. Where did this all begin for you?
Well, I'm 51 years old and you're
51 years young.
Well, I'm 51 in a week. 51 years young, and you're inundated with that message, travel while you're young, which I did. But then as I started to age, I really valued those quick escapes to get away and explore and find my sense of adventure again.
Where were you living at this time when you were solo female traveling?
I've lived Canada, New York, and Japan.
That is quite a lineup. And
Yeah.
a reminder, you are now living where?
Tulum, Mexico.
Which is where we are right now, and you've been here for how long?
10 months.
Which is wild, right? And my guess is the story we're going to be talking about today has led you down that path to Tulum, Mexico, right?
Yes.
Because you came here at, 50 years old, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep, you had your birthday here, and you are never too old to do anything in life. I love that. Okay, so you were solo female traveling early, and then what happened next?
I raised my kid, and you get stuck with the mundane tasks of day-to-day life. You have bills to pay, and you get caught up in that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
did you stop traveling at that time, or did you still keep trying to get out there?
I kept trying to get out there when finances and life would allow. I do short girls trips and short trips. And then I started traveling solo again, because when you wait for your friends, it doesn't always happen.
That's actually such a good point. Don't wait. That's why I started solo traveling, is because I realized I kept waiting for other people. And if I kept doing that, I would never go. I would just wouldn't go. There's never a right time. There's never a with the right people. And actually, hold on. Let's go off a rabbit trail for a second. What are like some of the lessons that solo traveling has taught you?
You get to learn what you like.
Yes.
What do I like? What do I want to do today? What do I like to eat today? Yeah.
That's actually an interesting example, because that's such a simple thing, right? Like, how many times a day do we eat? At least 50 to 60 times if you're me. I'm just kidding.
She intakes the same rate of oxygen.
Right? But at the same time, it's like, it's such a simple question. It's something we do every day. Yet I find so many people in paralysis around what it is that they want to eat. And solo traveling teaches you so much about yourself and exactly what you want, because you don't have to take care of anyone but yourself.
No.
And having those lessons, and this is why I think it's so important for everybody, wherever you are, however old you are, to start solo traveling whenever you can, because the faster you can learn those lessons, the more set up you are to live a better rest of your life. There's no one you should know better than yourself. And if you can know yourself really well, you can care for yourself really well.
We never date ourselves. Like, take yourself on a date.
Yes.
And figure out what makes you happy.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. I could talk about this all day. Okay, where were we? Okay, so you had your kid and you were starting to travel again, kind of here and there. What's kind of like one event that may have happened where I don't know, maybe it was at an age where you're like, okay, I shouldn't do that, or things were or were there events in your life where people were like, oh, you can't really do that at that age? Like, did something like that happen?
Well, my son is on the autism spectrum, so going away for those brief moments of time, I really needed to get away. But then as he aged and became more self-sufficient, and I wanted to keep on getting away, people are like, at this age, you shouldn't be traveling, you need to save for your retirement. Stay home, and get a better career, save for your retirement. What are you doing? You shouldn't be gallivanting.
That sounds so sexy. Stay home, save for retirement. Let me go do that now. And what was your response to that?
My retirement might not look like your retirement. Maybe I won't have this sizable savings and this god-awful husband. Or whatever. Maybe I won't have a husband, a sizable savings, and a little cushy house. Maybe I will be, here's your pancakes, sir, or teaching English online, or here's a cup of coffee. Like, maybe I still will be working right into my retirement, but it doesn't have to look like yours, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, and that's one of the things I really respect about you, is you give 2 middle fingers up to what society is telling you need your life to look like. Because if you make all of society happy, are you truly making yourself happy?
I'm not that girl.
Yeah. I'm not that girl either. Oh, yes.
I don't want the house on the hill with the...
Exactly. That's why you and I are on a tiny little moped yesterday on Tulum Beach Road with you on the back of that moped. After she was drinking a lot of mezcal. I wanted to be drinking mezcal. I was responsible. That was fun. I digress.
You're brave.
That was fun. So you didn't choose what society is telling you to do. What did you choose instead at that time?
To come here.
Oh, so that was actually a more recent thing that you were starting to feel that.
It was recent. I think the approaching 50, when you approach that number, it's a big milestone for a lot of people. And they're like, okay, enough is enough. You need to sit down and behave yourself and stay home. And
I was told to stay home and save for retirement when I was 21. That's why I asked that question.
It was
Yeah, it's a lot of people feel you need to do that.
When you take your first solo trip, people are like, oh, okay, it's a phase. Your second solo trip, are you okay? What are you running from?
Yep.
You can't run from your life. Your third solo trip, you still got to come back to reality. And the reality I'm fine with. I just really enjoy getting out there. But when you start taking those solo trips, at first everyone thinks there's something wrong with you, or you're going through something. And then
Absolutely.
And then they realize, okay. And then they're like, okay, reel that in and you need to stop.
I agree. I'll take that even further and say, so I went through that same journey as well. And then it became the people getting used to it and seeing me always out there. And then it became the people becoming curious about why I'm always out there. And then it became people wanting to try it themselves and then trying it and then telling me how amazing it is as though I have never done it before. And I was like, can we just remember about how you used to hate on me for that? Let's all go home and save for retirement, please. Okay, so I'm learning that actually that's a newer thing. And so as you've been here, actually kind of tell me about your experience in Tulum, because one of the things that fascinates me is the life that you live here. It is very not what a normal woman in her 50s would be living. And let's just start with describe for those listening or watching, what kind of a place do you live in Tulum?
I live in a house in a very local neighborhood. There is no one that looks like me for quite a ways, and I live above the lady who founded Help Tulum Dogs. And
what you're doing with Help Tulum Dogs is, it's very apparent that you are choosing to spend your time and a lot of energy and time in something you truly love.
Yes.
And actually, so you guys can learn more about what she's doing with Tulum dogs in the show notes, but I would love to hear what's been like the most rewarding part about spending so much of your time and energy with the dogs.
It's the outreach. It's being able, we go out to local communities, impoverished Mayan villages, and we do a lot of outreach, and we do a ton of spay and neuter clinics all over the Yucatan and Quintana Roo. So I get to see so many places off the beaten path that you would never, most tourists never get to see.
Wow.
As well as you get to help and make a difference.
So it sounds like Stacey has been only living the Tulum Beach life, staying at the resorts and partying at Rosa Negra and IT, etc. Just kidding. That's actually really important. And actually, let's take someone through a typical day. Oh, actually, let's talk to people about what like your morning this morning. Where did you go with the dogs today?
Well, we have a lot of dogs, and some of them are...
Wait, how many? How many?
I don't even know right now. We got 9 new puppies. I think we were at 18 or 19. We're in the 20s. We're in the 20s.
So this has nothing to do with her ability to count to a high number. Again, not staying at home saving for retirement at the moment.
Yeah, just block out numbers, kids.
That's a lot of
Numbers are
dogs.
my strength. We run in the jungle every morning because we need to take them off leash to burn off some energy. So we go deep into the jungle, but Tulum is ever growing. So just when we think we're deep enough in the jungle, there is construction or random fitness people or some wayward individual in the jungle, and then we actually have to like book it deep into the jungle.
And why do you have to go so deep into the jungle?
Well, because we're usually on dirt roads in the jungle, because there's a lot of them for the different developments and construction. But then when we see human beings, we actually have to run deep into the forest through the thick of it to get the dogs sidetracked so they don't eat the passerbys. So that's how that goes.
So I don't want you to think that Stacey is going on these jungle runs with perfectly trained dogs. She needs to go deep in the jungle so that these savage creatures, who are very loving,
we find random cenotes, like undiscovered. Like we'll just
that's amazing.
we find random watering holes. There's like green parrots flying above us.
That is a magical experience. Okay, so this is kind of, this is how Stacey walks her dog, plural, dogs in the morning. Tell us a couple more things. Like, what are some of the other things about your everyday life? Maybe your laundry story, for example. Like, what are some other things that are not normal, woman living in her 50s kind of life that you have here?
All of it. There's nothing normal.
Tell me more.
Nothing at all normal. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Some days I'm running around with the dogs in the jungle. I run and grab my little fruit from a fruit stand. I have to go to a little local laundromat where I finally won the standoff with the guy that owns it, and life is good for me there. And then some days I'm running around on the beach with different influencers and photographers, going to hotels that are like $3,000 a night. So it's a very diverse, well-balanced little lifestyle I have.
I love how you call that well-balanced. I love that. A well-balanced lifestyle.
Some days I'm sitting on a dirt palapa floor, helping local families with their dogs, and other days I'm balling out at a snazzy hotel.
Actually, let's just pretend that Stacey did choose to listen to what everyone wanted you to be doing, right? What would your life look like right now? Where would you be, and what would you be doing, and how would you feel?
Well, because I'm a single mom, I had a child very young, special needs. I needed to spend as much time with him as possible. So I started working in the bar industry because it allowed me, when I worked in nightclubs, to go to work at 9 p.m. So I'd be able to spend a full day with him and take him to all his appointments, get him to bed before the babysitter came. So that was my lifestyle for a very long time.
Wow.
And then as I aged, wasn't so cute in a nightclub anymore. No one wanted me in latex booty shorts. Look. So I had to go from the clubs and go to different restaurants. The good jobs weren't coming my way at age 50. And because my son had consumed all my time, there wasn't that time to get the education. So I decided, what can I do now? Because bringing Bob some ranch and some napkins didn't fucking light my heart on fire. It just didn't do it for me. Like, yes, Bob, I'll get you your ranch. And then you wake up in the middle of the night because you forgot said ranch. And I was like, this can't be my life. This can't be it.
Wow. Okay.
So that would have been me. And then when I started traveling, and I somehow Mexico, there was something about Mexico and wanting to help the dogs that I was just like, I need to go back there. And everyone would send me the travel advisories and tell me every horror story about Mexico to tell me it was very dangerous here.
Wow.
There's a lot of stereotypes about Mexico.
Yes. And I think one thing that I've learned is sometimes the people who are looking out for you aren't necessarily telling you, no, you shouldn't do that, but they care so much and worry so much that they will send you things like that to try to change your mind. And even for me in my own life, it's been a challenge to continue down that path anyway, no matter what people are saying, no matter what kind of doubts or worries other people have. I'm curious, at what point, or did you have a point or points where you felt like, okay, I got this?
I booked a trip to Mexico, and I was going to go to Tulum, Valladolid, Merida. I was doing all of this solo, and I was getting all my friends. My girlfriend, who's in real estate, gave me a rape whistle. I don't know if anyone heard a whistle in a jungle. If they'd helped me, they would have been like, "What in the bird is that?"
I was going to say,
yeah.
The sounds of the birds here are wild. Is exactly the correct word. They're very wild and different, and you probably mix right in.
No one would have saved me.
Actually, the birds would probably come try to mate you.
So everyone was like, okay, Stacey's off her rocker. And I was like, no, I'm going on this trip. And I went to work that day, and the Raptors had won the championship. And the entire city was crazy. And I went outside, but my gut, it wasn't a good crazy. Like people dangling from roofs and like mobs, and they shut down the mall. There was like 100,000 people or more in the core of downtown and where I work. And my gut was like, this isn't gonna go well today. My stomach was like, this crowd, this many people, I just don't feel like this is gonna be safe. And I had to go to a currency exchange because I wasn't the brightest girl back then. I went to the currency exchange at the local mall. I wasn't the seasoned traveler I am now.
Yeah.
So I remember wanting to go into the mall, and they said, we've closed all the doors for crowd control. And I was like, okay. Let me go in the one door into the mall with 1 million people all around me. And I walked into the mall to go to the little currency exchange before my shift, and someone had just been stabbed. So everyone came running at me, and I was like, oh, get out of the way. You got to go to the currency exchange. You're going to Mexico. So I ran into the food court just off the side. As soon as I ran into the food court, there was a flash of a gun, and I didn't know guns had fire. And I saw the fire come out of the gun, and I was right in the middle of a gunfight in the mall.
Oh my gosh.
So I grabbed a young girl, and I hid behind a till at this little area.
Oh, I have goosebumps.
And I held on to the girl. We phoned our families, so we had a little moment. And I was like, fuck, because you're used to seeing mass shootings. You're thinking, okay, you don't think a bad guy is getting a bad guy. You're like, on the news, you see like mass shootings, and I'm in a mall. So I held this girl, and we held her forever, and eventually the food court, they closed that little gate to the mall once they realized there was no more noise and anything. We all sat there, and eventually we all stood up from our hiding spots. And we went to open the gate to leave, and the police there was police everywhere, like hordes and hordes, like the SWAT team coming through. And when they saw us stand up, the police ran at us and pointed their guns at us and said, everybody down, because they thought we could be the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because we're the last people left in the mall.
Wow.
And then I had to go across the street to my job.
Wow.
And I was supposed to work till 2 a.m. and then be at the airport at 6 a.m.
And that's how it all
and I came
started.
To dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
And I came to dangerous Mexico. And I went to the Hotel the Delic Hotel.
Yes.
Right down by Ahau. And I remember like still being a little shaky.
Yeah.
And they actually gave me a green juice with vodka. They would welcome green juice. And I was like, does that come with vodka? And they said it could. And I sat there drinking my vodka green juice. I don't recommend that, by the way. And I was like, you know what? I just like had 2 guns right in front of me. And all of my friends were sending me messages and rape whistles about traveling solo. And I was like, if shit's gonna happen anywhere. Get out there, Stacey.
Wow. What a wild story. That is where it ended, and that is where it began.
And my Spanish is terrible, Christine can attest. And
It
was
is,
worse
yes.
then. It was way worse then.
Oh, I know.
And I went to Merida, Valladolid. I traveled all over by myself on the bus around Mexico.
But you know what? You do it, and when you need help, you ask for it. Stacey's hand gestures are on point.
Oh, I will beat your ass at charades. My charade game, I can ask for anything. I can get my fish descaled and beheaded with charades.
It's powerful.
It brings them joy to see me make that motion.
Not the charades is powerful. That story is powerful. I actually didn't know that part of the story. You got this at any age. It's never too late. Wow. Thank you, Stacey. Oh, this is going to be terrible for the mics. Give me a hug. Oh. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. Bonus question. Would you consider yourself a badass?
Fuck yeah.
When did you make that choice?
Just today. No, I am a badass. I know I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Wow, that was a really powerful story. And let's recap what we heard today. So we heard from Stacey, who wanted us to take away from what she shared with us today, that it's never too late. And I think there's actually way more badassery to this story than just that. And she brought out about stories of when people told her that she can't, or she couldn't, or she shouldn't, she did it anyway. And she told us stories about how when kind of everything was against her, things were not easy, that she was able to make her way and find her way anyway. And that's really powerful. I am feeling so inspired by today's story. I want you to take away from this, and it is never too late. Please connect with me, connect with Stacey, connect with us. Check the show notes for more information on how to find her. And go forth, be a badass, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Ciao.